Duncan and Angie here. Yep, we're still on the road on this RV tour, and we're coming to you with the raw and the real situation.
We're not pretending today. We're leaving our mess on the table. We're not cleaning it up.
My hair, frizzy as it is, in this lovely humidity, no makeup. It's been one of those mornings. We're almost 8 weeks into this journey, and we have decided to name this episode
I'm a Nervous Wreck.
We have had some little obstacles to overcome, if you can imagine that. So we're going to share a few of those highlights today, and Duncan's going to start us off with some of the mechanical ones.
Yeah, so our days off have been spent between two places. One is at a mechanics, and the others has been with doctors. So the mechanics has been air in our tires. We haven't been able to keep it in them. We've had one particular one, had a faulty valve stem, and we have had to have it repaired a couple times. The second was our battery died. What we were having to do is use a bypass switch, which would, instead of using the vehicle battery, we'd have to draw a charge off the house battery, and that was a problem. So we had to, in Chicago, we had to get a whole new battery system, got provided, but it was still a pain. And then we've also been to a doctor. What's that for, Ange?
Well, my ear acted up, my right ear. So about 5 weeks ago, had some itching going on. Thought it was just some issues with my
wax buildup
like I've had in the past. Well, no, not the case. All my little home remedies did not work. In fact, I think I irritated it and made it worse. Had to go to a walk-in clinic. Thank you, Becky Haas, back weeks ago. Was put on an antibiotic to help hopefully kill the whatever was going on in there.
Yep.
Didn't do any good. Went to urgent care a week later. Different antibiotic, a stronger one. Still didn't take care of it. In fact, it turns out that the antibiotics I was on actually killed both the bad and the good bacteria in my ear and created a fungal infection. We found out when we finally went to an ENT in
ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Ear, nose, throat. Wonderful lady. She looked in there and said, "Oh no, you've got a fungal infection and it's pretty severe." So put me on a treatment plan for the first few days. We ended up seeing her 4 different times in that period of time. And I forgot to say the pain level was over the top.
Yep.
That's what finally took us to the ENT because it was just awful. I was crying most nights and not sleeping. It was quite humbling, and that's what's made me kind of a nervous wreck, honestly.
That's not fixed yet. We're still waiting for her hearing to come back on her last appointment. They said now you don't only have one hole, you actually have 2 holes from the fungus. So that's the problem leading forward. So what have we learned?
For me, I feel like I've really been broken in a way that's caused me to realize how out of control I am, we are, this whole adventure is, and that we have to be fully dependent on him for our strength, for the wisdom to know how to handle these situations, to be truly listening to him. And it's caused me to have to slow down. I've had to, and Duncan has had to, what do you say? Call on your...
I am having to call on my inner extrovert because...
come out. And it has.
Yeah. That's been the difficulties. That's been what's made us a nervous wreck. But there has been a sense in which God has shown up in our weakness. We read in Scripture that His grace is sufficient for us, for in our weakness He is made strong. Ever since the last video, we've really only been primarily in 2 states, New York and Virginia, but we've had a whole bunch of stops along the way, which began in Hornell.
Joe Barnard.
Yes,
Yay!
With our dear friend Joe. We've known her for a long time. She took us out for one of our days off. We got a break, and we got to go to Niagara Falls with her and just see the incredible beauty and power of nature.
Wow.
Then we went from there up to Watertown, up to Fort Drum.
And we got to see Dan and Becky Haas and the Matt and Meredith Snell family.
Yeah.
We were welcomed by Dan at the base, and he welcomed us into the campground on base for that time, and that was wonderful.
And they worked so many of the details out for us. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
And then Matt and Meredith, they're brand new up there at Fort Drum. Actually, they're not brand new. They were stationed there years ago when God kind of got a hold of their heart for Cadence. and now they're returning as the Cadence House directors up there.
Yep.
We got a chance to help be part of their introduction into the community. What a gift. Then we went on
to West Point and got to spend an evening and a morning with KJ and Emily. They're just a delight with their 2 little girls. Thank you for your hospitality, guys.
Yes.
Then on from there, we went to Virginia. And who did we see first? In
Fredericksburg.
Virginia?
We stopped at Paul and Stacy Caspi's
Yep.
home.
Yep.
Paul was not there, but
Seeing
Stacy was there.
Aaron.
Yep.
Yep. Had a nice evening and spent the night with them. That was great.
Stayed up late chatting.
Yep. Then on to Newport News with Michael and Evelyn Amos.
They've been affiliated with lots of Cadence
Yeah.
houses.
They hosted an event and we attended a Bible study with them. Great visit.
We were also in the Newport area with Larry and Bibi Blakely.
Yep.
What a gift to be with them.
Yep. On the front porch of their hospitality house, having a lunch because of some COVID restrictions. So we all sat up there and had a nice visit and got to hear alumni stories from their group as well. It was a great time.
Went on from there through the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel and got to go and spend the day with
The Fletchers.
Yep.
We actually had a couple of visits with Fletchers, and again, warm hospitality. Duncan got to lead a Bible study. We also had a gathering with them. Great group of people at the hospitality house there. And then Gary Sanders,
Yep.
right? He welcomed us again with an event at his home and some more incredible alumni stories highlighted there. Attended his Bible study at the church. Gary is just a major advocate for Cadence missionaries and what
Yep.
we do.
We were still in Virginia, but we made a quick stop down in North Carolina with our dear friends, Brian and Suzanne Krisman. I've traveled to Africa and to Dominican Republic.
They've done limited term with Cadence.
That's
They
right.
served over in Spain.
Yep.
Right?
In the Rhoda House.
In the Rhoda House, I believe. Great couple. Thanks you guys for your hospitality. And then we went on to the Scots in
Lynchburg.
Virginia.
They're starting a whole new ministry.
Yeah. We got to help have a gathering to help launch what they're going to do and pray over them. Had a great time with that group that met there at the Scots.
So we thought we'd end our video this week with some of the words and testimony from the alumni we've gotten to visit with along the way. So here's just a sampling of some of the things they've been saying about their Cadence stories.
What led us to Christ, Ed Burry will put it, he says we were taken out behind the woodshed. God was speaking to us, she was going to church, but, we just weren't listening. We weren't following through with what he was calling us to do. And he took us behind the woodshed. And that was what, that moment together, even though we were apart at the time, was what we needed to come to Christ. And so, again, we, from that point on, from the point that we were saved, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know, and so it really was a lot of Ed and Susie just walking with us. And then Eric and Janet came to Mountain Home, and they really helped us learn a lot too.
So that's where Cadence is for us, and will always be. It starts with the Burries, goes to the Demels, now it's at the Blakeleys.
And now you are our children. Yes, we love you guys.
Yeah.
And your boys.
And we seeked the Cadence group out because
Yeah.
that's where we knew
You
where
sure
our
did.
home
You
was.
sure did.
So.
Good morning, Cadence family. This is Michael Ewing, Cadence Alumni. I had a chance the other week to sit down with Angie and Duncan on their tour. I was from 2004 to 2009 a Navy corpsman stationed in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, with the Marine Corps, 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines. My time in the military is actually where I met the Lord in Afghanistan in combat. I wasn't around chaplains, I wasn't around others, but I just had a very powerful encounter with Jesus, and that was the climax, the life-changing moment for me, where my story led to Cadence. And I'll never forget my introduction to the Cadence missionary. Ray Hauser had come up to me at that time and introduced himself and said, "Are you a single sailor?" And I said I was, and he said, "Let me take you out to lunch today." And after that, it was take me out kayaking, and after that, it was hospitality house, and I was hooked from there. Loved my time with Ray and Char Hauser. They became spiritual mothers and fathers to me during that last year in Hawaii as a baby Christian, and such a major influence in my life.
So that's it for now. Any last thoughts, Ange?
Just that we love you guys and we're humbled to continue to be out here, and let's keep being vulnerable as we share our lives and the gospel with each other.
So are we still a nervous wrecks? Some days.
We are.
But most of the time we are seeing God's faithfulness over and over again.
For sure.
Thanks. We love you.
Love you. Bye for now.